back to the London's Pretty Cool podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Patrick Briggs.
And I'm your other host, Aaron Briggs.
And we have another amazing couple guests with us today. You've seen their massive building, or maybe you've been to one of the many businesses that are located inside. You may have wondered what the deal is with the factory, the Powerhouse, and where the new location of the Children's Museum is going to be. Well, today we're going to get the answers to hopefully all of our questions regarding 100 Kellogg Lane. Thanks so much for joining us, Martha Leach and Paul McLaughlin. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing good. Thanks for asking us on.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about your position at Kellogg's and how you got involved?
Well, I guess to start, Martha and I and our families worked together in the city here for the past, 15 years, mainly in the industrial buildings and fixing them up and taking care of more industrial side. We purchased this building. It would be 2016. Yeah, November 2016. And we were actually going to sever it and take care of the warehousing side. But as it evolved and what we started seeing there and working with some of the past people that were trying to develop it and work with it, i.e. is the Children's Museum, we kind of really started imagining what we could do with the space. It wasn't conducive enough for the warehousing side, and it was pretty hard to sever it off and do what we wanted to do. So we really started seeing how we can adapt the 1 million square foot building and create something new and different, and more time we spent in, Old East, call it, the Old East Village, and seeing what was going on and listening to the stories of all around there and being in the entertainment district as well. We really started thinking, hey, you know what would be kind of cool is something like Distillery District is in Toronto, crossed with like a Liberty Village, which is a work and live place area. And just kind of, it's all evolved from there.
Awesome. So when you guys kind of got the building, how long was or has been the construction process to get it to up to snuff to what it is today?
So we bought the building November 2016, and we did have a tenant for the warehouse component, but then there was all the rest of the space. So we started really using our imagination and just thinking, what does London need? What could work there? There was a lot of challenges in some areas of the building, but it was important for us not to see those things as challenges, but like use them, see it as a benefit. Like the big room at the factory, I mean, what are you gonna do in a room that is so high and so large, except put up the world's largest indoor ropes course?
Yeah.
So we just tried to think outside the box.
Yeah. So the building kind of started telling us what we had to do with it. The building has been added on. There's a lot of, a lot of things that we didn't know about the building as we purchased it and got to know it. The age of it, really, like the original building was built in 1912, and that's where Kellogg started, right? That was the very first Kellogg's location. There's two brothers, actually, who started out in Michigan, and the one brother got in a fight with the other one and started there. Well, he really grew Kellogg's brand, what it is today, but he kept adding on and adding on and adding on. Also, the biggest addition that they added on was in 1984, and that's when the new concrete and the big high area and the glass tower, everything that you see was done then. But it was so engineered that, like Martha said, you got that great big room. What are you going to do with the room that size? But then there's many floors. There's 5 floors just in that room right beside it that there's weight restrictions. How do you get to loading docks? There's just so much stuff. So that's when we really started using our imagination and saying, well, we can put this here and that there, whether it's a children's museum, the whole indoor family entertainment park. And then we were going to utilize the office space and update it. So
the factory really was the bait for everyone else that we've seen move in there since. And that has kept our construction process moving along at a pretty quick pace, because once people experience the factory, then all of a sudden we had lots of inquiries for office. Carfax moving in right away. Like they wanted that kind of culture. And yeah, they wanted them to be able, their office staff, to enjoy a brewery, enjoy the factory, be part of a really multi-use space.
And as we started developing and bringing in the names, then it really started picking up. And then we started seeing, I guess, the ability of what we could do. And now I'm sure everybody knows we have Hard Rock coming to town, and that's the hotel, which was one of the last components. We were already planning a hotel, but Hard Rock themselves came down and seen what we're doing, and they really wanted to be a part of this. So it worked out great. So it's been 4 years of building it, but it's just as the customers come along, we build out what they need.
Perfect. And like you were saying, you kind of saw Oldies Village as this entertainment district, or like the distillery district in Toronto. How have you seen kind of London and Oldies Village improve as an entertainment neighborhood district, especially since 100 Kellogg's has adapted or been developed?
I think that's just a lot of the culture. I'd say there's been a lot of improvements. It worked great, actually. The city had fixed up all the roads around there just as we purchased it. And then Oldies Village, they've been quite a while also just developing that. They've done a great job bringing it up, and all the houses around there, everything it's just the culture where people want to be. You've got Anderson's Brewery, you've got the London Brew Co. There's just a lot of cool startup businesses that are all going through there. So as that gets started and that kind of culture gets going, it's been a good natural growth with us.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the incredible, growth in businesses that are around there, since opening 100 Kellogg, when you first got the place, my sister and I have been lucky enough to take part in the factory, like that fantastic open area that you were mentioning. I was in there and I wanted to shout and hear the echo of my voice the whole time. But we also really enjoyed Powerhouse Brewery in the back. I guess I was wondering about how Powerhouse and, say, Paradigm, how did these businesses, did they reach out to you first to get involved, or did you look out to you? Did you let out an open letter? Like, how did that work?
I'd say for the first 2 years, Paul and I probably did 4 tours of the building a day with people that we had cold called, or vice versa, people reaching out to us, just interested in trying to spread the word about our vision there. And, one thing led to another, and we ended up meeting Matt Buckley, who had Tobermory Brew Company up in Tobermory. He was ready to expand, and he ended up starting the Powerhouse here.
Knowing that the Children's Museum was coming in.
And the factory
was going to be going.
We knew we wanted a hotel there. He could see what we were talking about. So that was really great. And then Irma and Michelle with Paradigm, they were looking to move their distillery or open a distillery in St. Jacobs Market. And timing just worked out really perfectly. It was a friend of a friend who connected us. And yeah, once they saw building 16, they fell in love.
Yeah.
How could you not?
Yeah.
Other than the Hard Rock Hotel, which we're definitely going to ask more about, can you tell us about what other type of businesses we can expect that might open up in Kellogg's?
Well, we're actually opening up something called the Clubhouse at the factory this coming Wednesday. And in that zone, we have 12 holes of mini golf, bocce ball courts, and 6 golf simulators along with a big bar lounge. We were seeing that at the factory, lots of the kids were having fun, and some of the big kids were having fun too, but there were lots of grandparents and parents not participating, and we thought, what could we provide for them to do while they're there?
Also with our corporate rooms and having all the event center space set up, we were doing a lot of corporate events and
team building,
things like that. And hey, some people love doing that, and you can jump around and zip line and ropes climb, but also there's a lot more that don't need all the energy and all that, and they just want to relax, and you can have fun, golf, and do the mini golf. And that can be tied into the event side. So it's kind of all just worked out great on that side.
So that's opening on Wednesday. Maybe you had heard about our Merry Market. We're really focused on creating experiential things there. So at Christmas, it was a great success, and we're doing a spring one starting April 8th. And that will be an event that we want to run every year, like the Merry Market and the Spring Market. So that's bringing local vendors together and encouraging London to really shop local. And here is a way that we're providing to do it in one place. So along with beautiful decor, lots of photo ops, and just really getting to experience what we feel is, you know, a good time.
And the building itself, a lot of people have driven around this building for the past century, and a lot of them know the friend, family member, somebody that's worked there, and just the ability to go in, you see what we've done with the place, and just really walk into it. It's a
piece of history.
It's a piece of history for the city. So I guess.
And we do have a retail component coming in. Like, we really want to create a mini city there. So when you come for a weekend and stay at the hotel, you'll have lots of things to do. So there'll be shopping, there'll be a spa, there's a gym, there's eating options, the factory, the children's museum, like
the distillery. We also are building out an event center, concert hall there. It's about 24,000 square feet that you can host either large Christmas parties or any large corporate gathering to.
Or
we
might
have a
traveling
show that the museum might bring on, or we could find like a Ripley's deal. So there's lots of different options. It could be a trade show, and it's all within in the building.
That's amazing. That's a really, really great opportunity for anybody that's looking to get involved. Is there anything else, anybody else that, or any other industries that you're looking to attract that anybody who might be listening wants to get in contact with you about?
Right now, we're focused on leasing the retail component. We haven't really wanted to do that yet until we announced Hard Rock, until we finished out the space, so there's actually something to show.
And know our crowd and our gathering. We don't want to set people up for not failure all set. We need the rest of the place built before the final piece comes in. And now we're to that point. The hotel is just about to be done. We have Carfax, we have Compass Group. It's another large company here in the city. And we have a lot of other professional places across there. We have the branding firm. We have
Matter Architects.
Yep.
Sandbox Near Strangers. Like, it's a great location because there's free parking for staff. It's an environment. People can go to work, but also be part of something.
Yeah. One thing we're working on right now is we would like to see a butcher shop crossed with ice cream store in there, but there'll be a steakhouse connected to the butcher shop. So just things like that, stuff that's kind of cool to witness and see, like a different view of how things are done.
Very
experiential, I guess.
There's lots to look forward to. And a lot of that you were mentioning has to do with the very, very exciting addition, which is the Hard Rock Hotel. So we wanted to ask a few questions because this is going to be the first Hard Rock Hotel in Canada. So why London for their first location, or how did you get them to come to Kellogg's?
Well, Martha's family is partners with another group in the States, and they're already working with a hotel here in the States, and they were tied in with Hard Rock. And as they were talking with Hard Rock and really saying what we're doing up here, Hard Rock themselves has actually kind of changed their view of what they've done. They've been bought out, they've been rearranged a couple times, but in 2008 to 2012, they were purchased by the Seminole Indians out of Florida. And they kind of rebranded and reconfigured Hard Rock and their image. And what they would like to see, there's, I guess, 4 different sections of Hard Rock. There's Hard Rock Hotels, Hard Rock Live, Hard Rock Casino, and Hard Rock Cafe. But the Hard Rock Hotel, where they would like to come out and rebrand themselves more, is the fact that they want to have hotels set up in entertainment areas. They don't want to just be a brand name and yeah, it's Hard Rock near a hotel. They want to be set up that it's a cool spot, entertaining, and everything is done right there. So when they seen what we're doing here, they really fell in love with how we're creating a whole spot to make it a weekend getaway.
And a lot of their business is about memorabilia. They have one of the very largest collections of all different kind of rock and roll memorabilia, but they see a building like Kellogg's almost part of that. Anything that tells a story with history, they're really passionate about. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that all seems so exciting. Like when you think of like the Hard Rock, you definitely think music for sure. What kind of, like, is there going to be like Canadian musical memorabilia, or what is like the difference for it being in Canada compared to the States?
I don't know. We haven't chosen the memorabilia yet. We definitely will want to keep Canadian artists in mind when we do that.
And they do as well. They really want to understand the neighborhood, where they're going into, understand the community, understand the culture, and see what is here. So
and they just really want to become more family friendly. Like, I think a lot of their image has been kind of like rock and roll, but that's shifting to be more family friendly destinations with lots of experiences being offered. So
events, things like that, and history, and just showing the stuff that's in the area.
How do you see the Hard Rock Hotel being added to London as a tourist opportunity for the city?
Oh, I think, well, we've been lucky enough to be able to meet with Tourism London and Southwestern Tourism, and I think we are absolutely thrilled that Hard Rock is our partner here. But I think that Kellogg's, independently of Hard Rock, was becoming a tourist destination for the city. We are offering something that it isn't seasonal. There's something for everybody, and it's been a goal of ours since the beginning to, have things that there's something for everyone there when you come. So,
and something always happening, whether it's the Merry Market, whether it's the Spring Market,
whether it's live music on Thursday night, trivia, like
it could be.
It's been a goal for us to create somewhere in between Detroit and Toronto where there's a radius of people that will want to come and see what's going on there.
And there's a lot of stuff already happening in the neighborhood. You look at the BMO Field, the indoor soccer park there. There's a lot of tournaments every weekend that goes on there. You have the hockey arenas over there at the Western Fair. There's a lot of tournaments, people coming all over the States coming here. And well, now with COVID, who knows, but there's still a lot of hockey tournaments. Just you don't even need the States, but it creates a destination for these people that they're coming to these other events, but there's something else to draw and see. So I think it's going to be a great thing for everybody to experience and have fun.
If I think about myself as a kid and going on trips and staying in a hotel, the first thing that you ask is, does this hotel have a pool? Does this hotel have a water slide? And if you could answer as a parent and say, oh, not only does it have that, it's got an arcade, it's got, the factory, the
trampoline park,
world's largest adventure park. It's also got, if you could just start listing off all these things, it sounds like the greatest vacation that a kid could go on.
Mini golf, the children's museum. There's just so much, let alone, we actually also have the Canadian Medical Hall of Fame. They were actually downtown, and now it's their home of the corporate office. But as you walk into the main entryway there, they have all their educational things. It's all experiential, and that's what we really wanted to see. When you come here, there's something always happening, whether it's a concert, something going on at the distillery, at the Children's Museum. There's just something always going on, but then also educational, even about the building and your location and what's going on there.
Speaking of what's going on there, you mentioned this earlier. There is a portion of the building that's called the Tower that is about cooperative workspaces. So you're mentioning like we've got stuff for kids, lots of opportunity for fun for adults, but there is some work opportunity as well here. So can you tell us about the differences between these like hot desks, designated desk, virtual office, just how that all works?
Well, that actually evolved from the very start when Martha and I were doing 4 tours a day, and a lot of the larger corporate people, we wanted to come there because there's so much space on each floor up there. It was very hard to divide out. and we really needed somebody to have 20,000 square feet of office space. Well, 4 years ago, you asked them, would you like to move 20,000 square feet of corporate office east of Adelaide? Most answers were no. So as we started showing through, we actually took through, it was Regis or like WeWorks. We looked at a few spots, and corporately they weren't ready to, but they knew this would be a great spot. And we also had a lot of people that, well, we don't need this much, we only need this and this. So,
or do you have 1,000 square feet for office, or there's 3 of us, you know, we're just having a startup, or wondering if we could get an area? So we wanted to service the demand.
Yeah, we shifted it from, forget about the big guy, let's look at the amount of people that just need the 1,000 square feet and so on and so forth. So that's when we started looking at WeWorks, Regis, all that type. And we said, well, hey, 4th floor, let's open it up and we will create our own WeWorks or our own Regis. So we have our hot desks, we have corporate meeting rooms, we can do, even if you just wanted a mailing address, you can rent a mailbox there from us, to even larger setups. So we've got a lot of companies up there. 4th floor is full now. Well, we've got some openings still, I guess, on the hot desk, and I think we have one more office still right now. But as far as the next level, 3rd floor, that's all set up. That's where Compass Group is going. So they have 30,000 square feet of the office on that floor. And then we have on 2nd floor is just, it's the factory and ourselves, how the building's laid out. So there's not really office space there. So the only office there is really 3rd and 4th floors. And then up front, that's where Carfax went. They ended up taking 2nd and 3rd floor of office space there. And that's all of our office components there. Then we also have office space across the street at MCO. So we have another 2 levels there, and it's pretty well full except for the top floor there. So it's coming.
You know, speaking of next door, I have a question as well, just about, I think about this a lot when I walk around the building. Is there going to be any addition to parking?
So across the street at MCO, we have a large site there. We have 4 acres, and that's all set up to be parking for Kellogg's. And then we also have all the parking on the west side of Kellogg's, Kellogg's Lane, and that's all set up for parking. So we have ample parking. Also, we purchased the Pillsbury plant, which is the east side of Kellogg's, and also have Air Liquide. We purchased that building. We have some office space there, but more parking and some more lots. So we were set. There might be a little bit of a walk, but even when you go to the mall, you have to walk to the mall. So it's we have the parking taken care of.
You kind of touched on it a little bit earlier about your markets that are going on, but this episode will be coming out just before your spring market that will be coming up. What can kind of people expect if they're going there? What should they be doing before, especially with COVID? Is there tickets? Like, what types of vendors can people be expecting? Can you tell us a little bit about this spring market?
We have, at Christmas time, we had 50 vendors, local vendors. I would say 95% of them all committed to come back. And in addition to that, because we have occupancy of the 1st floor, when you arrive, you'll be able to go through the glass entrance and walk all the way through to the outdoor portion. At Christmas time, we had to walk around the building, but right now we've got more space finished and we'll be able to walk through the building, and along the way, there'll be beautiful things to look at and places to get your pictures taken. So we are having around 80 vendors this time. With that, we have an artist den in the basement with local London artists. The last weekend, we are having some children vendors again. They were a huge success last time. Very cute. And it's cool to see young entrepreneurs get their product together and gain confidence. It's just a neat experience. And we are, like last time, abiding all COVID regulations, being very mindful, insisting on masks, everything we can do to be safe, we absolutely want to do. And Yeah, that's pretty much it. There is an admission fee. 12 and under is free. There's an admission fee of $5, which will get you the in and out all weekend long. And that can just be purchased at the door. We'll have lots of people working that while you're in line and waiting to come in, you just pay and you'll get an all access bracelet for the weekend. And we're pretty excited. I think as being Canadians, spring is something we all welcome, and it'll be great to get out and be able to support local yet again.
Yeah, I went to the Mary Market and it was done fantastically. So I'm very excited to see what the spring market has in store. Problem.
Thank you. It was important to us to make sure everyone was comfortable and safe and mindful. I mean, as Londoners, I think we already are that way, but we wanted to create a safe environment. So a lot of these vendors would normally be doing upwards of 30 shows a year. The Mary Market for a lot of them was the only show they did last year. So they were super enthusiastic to think that they'd have another opportunity to be back. I know they were so grateful for everyone that shopped with them. So, and I know as I want to support people, but sometimes I don't even know how to go about doing that. And it was just cool to be able to provide a one-stop shop that you're getting to support people that maybe you wouldn't even know exist.
I love that. Supporting London and supporting local is all about what this podcast is about. So thank you so much for getting involved in doing that. We really appreciate it.
Well, it's a pleasure.
Now we have some questions about the future of this space because there's so much cool stuff happening. I was wondering about the outdoor area. I know that there's a plan to make it kind of like a common ground in between the brewery and just like the general building. So what's the plan for that area? And are you going to be having like events there, maybe some live music in the future, that kind of thing?
Absolutely. We really want that space, whether it's live music or just great audio visual, football Sundays. We want
buskers. There could be chalk art going on. It's a whole square. It's like it's the courtyard of everything, the whole hub. When you stand there, you can look up, you can see the hotel, you can see the Children's Museum, you can see where Carfax is, the event center on the other side, a full food hall that we would like to put in. So, and you're right by the brewery, the distillery. So something's always going on there. Like that will be the hub. Whether you're working there and you just want to get out of the office and rest and relax, you can go there. Weekend, we like the Mary Market and the Spring Market. Those are things that will always be going on. There'll be an event happening there every weekend. You'll always be able to go there and say, hey, let's just get away, go down and check out what's going on at Kellogg's.
Nice.
Love that. Yeah, I love that. What are some more things that we can expect to see? Now, you did mention the Children's Museum. That has been a very big subject here in the city. Myself and Aaron, we spent lots of time as kids, hanging out and learning in the Children's Museum. And it's been used in past years for really cool music events and things like that. And like you were mentioning, audiovisual events before. The plan, when's the plan for that to get fully installed into the building and people can take part?
Their construction schedule has been pushed a little with COVID. They are starting, the goal was to be open in 2021. They are only starting their construction starting this summer. So I think once they start construction, it will be another year before they open. But they have such amazing vision for their space. It's going to be incredible. They've hired the best of the best to do their exhibits, and it's going to be something that London will really appreciate. I mean, we're thrilled to be working with them.
Well, we're thrilled that that it still gets to stay running somewhere. So the Children's Museum is a big part of the city, so that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for people who have never been, we want to know, how should they spend their first time there?
It's a great question. I guess it just depends what you're into. We are really hoping that we're going to be able to reopen the factory sooner rather than later. I mean, at this point, having 50 people for the entire factory, it isn't possible to do it with that. But if you're a family, I would say absolutely check out the factory first. If you are going to university, I'd say maybe you want to head on down to Powerhouse. And then if you are into cocktails, I mean, I can think of no other place I'd rather go first than Paradigm. They've got great creative bartenders, and what they're making there is pretty cool.
Now, before we get into the London-based questions, because we're going to ask specifically you guys and your thoughts about some London stuff, but we wanted to know just if there's any plans that we can expect for Kellogg's 100 Kellogg's to grow and change in the next 5 years, things to look forward to, anything that you want to update our listeners on before we get into specifically just like questions for you guys about London.
No, I think you guys have asked great questions, and you're going to see a lot of change in the coming 12 months and for future.
Fantastic. Okay, perfect. Well, the London questions that we have for you guys, as this is London's Pretty Cool podcast, we're going to start with a simple one. Your favorite place to eat in the city?
These are bad questions. Like, we have too many friends in all the food side of things. You can't just pick one.
Well, you got to.
No, you can give a shout out to a couple. That's fine.
I love supporting any small restaurant in the city. Like, I would always choose that over going to a chain. That's just, so I like to head downtown.
Somewhere downtown.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots. There's way too many. This town's got great restaurants downtown.
Absolutely.
And on the outside of town too, we love Taverna, love the Ivy, love Mykonos, love Katana Cafe. Like, oh my gosh, we're really lucky.
I would have to agree. London has some of the best restaurants, probably, just for like a smaller city. For the next London question, what would you say is your favorite neighborhood, as we are the city of neighborhoods?
Well, it would be Kellogg's, of course.
Yeah, Old East Village. You know what?
We're gonna wreck.
I grew up in Northridge, and I love that area. Oh my goodness, the nice big trees and everything. I currently live in Old North. I love that because I can walk downtown, and my family lives really close to me. But I love Old East Village and what has happened there in such a short amount of time. I think Wortley is so cool with their restaurants. Like, it's the same thing. Everybody's got, I don't know, there's such good things about every part.
This next question is going to be tough, specifically because of how democratic you're being. Is there a London small business you couldn't live without?
Honestly, I absolutely love, I don't think this is a small business, but I love grocery shopping at Remark. And I think that they are outstanding, and I think Sunrise is too. I think they've done a great job during this time, like with being essential and being swamped. Like, I still enjoy grocery shopping at Sunrise and Remark because of the way that they've kept themselves organized.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Paul? Do you have a small business you couldn't live without?
Well, I do a lot of entertaining and carrying on. I don't know. I've just all the pardon? Yeah, Easttown Barber, actually. They're one of the very first people that really understood our vision there, and I've fallen in love with Kim there. She's great, and the crew there, and keeps my hair trimmed up. So you don't want to see my hair going long. So there's one that I'd be very happy that they're around.
Yeah. What do you think is like a hidden gem in the city that not enough people know about?
Do you know where I think the hidden gem is? The River Room at the museum. They do an amazing brunch and lunch there. The view is spectacular. It's not a place that I think a lot of people know about, but it feels special going in there.
Yeah,
That's a great
I'd have to agree on that.
I love that place for live music as well, and just for events, it's incredible there.
Right, and I
If
think
you were
Beth has
able to,
also done a great-
oh, sorry, go ahead. My apologies.
No, that's okay. I think Jess, the owner there, has also done a really good job at throughout this COVID. Like, she's done delivery, and she's, just positive and wants to support the community of people that are having a hard time right now. Like, it's not a fun time for anyone, but you can only do what you can do, right?
Mm-hmm. If you were to have a perfect London day or night, what would it entail?
You don't want us to be biased again. Say, let's go to the factory and then the brewery and the distillery. And,
if that's your perfect night, if you're just going bar hopping.
Yeah, I got to tell you, that would be, we've been all locked up. Some of the funnest times I love doing is, of course, a London Knights game, and then after the game, you hit Richmond Road. Now, that's me personally, but it's we've been all locked up. It's just so exciting to get out and see things
and people. I miss running into people and saying, "Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you," and blah blah blah. I want to spend some time with my friends.
Well, that's it for our London questions. We have one more quick game, and then we're going to wrap it up. This is a classic game here for our podcast. It's a real toughie, so get ready. It's called This
or
That. All right. So this game is all about speed. So we are going to do a lightning round where we're just going to give you two options. You have to choose one or the other, as little debating or deliberation as possible, and then we'll just keep moving on to the next one.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, cool.
So to get us started, for this or that, in 3, 2, 1, Western Fair Market or Covent Garden Market?
Western Fair.
I'd do Covent Garden.
Next up, we have Sunfest or Home County.
Home County.
Masonville Mall or White Oaks Mall?
Masonville Mall.
Masonville.
Dundas Place or Wortley Road?
Wortley Road.
Same.
Prince Albert's or Stobie's?
Prince Albert's.
And Prince Albert's, yes.
This one's going to be the tough one here. Powerhouse or Paradigm?
Oh, that is, I want cocktails. Paradigm.
And I like beer, so I'm going to have to Powerhouse.
That worked out nicely. And the final one, Fanshawe College or Western University?
Oh, that's an equal win-win.
Yeah, that depends what you want to do in your, I guess, your world of knowledge and what you want to lead up to.
Well, this is so democratic. I love this.
Western around campus.
Yes, the Western campus is really nice.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And Kings is
visit another
too here.
Yeah. Way better than Fanshawe. Fanshawe is just a big industrial building. It's not as pretty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Although
Great
one
schools.
place I've always wanted to try is Fanshawe's restaurant. I haven't gotten there, and I have only heard good things. So it's on my list when the world opens a little bit back up.
Yes, it's really good. The one downtown. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that is actually all the questions that we have for you. We really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks.
You guys have been great. This is fun.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Great what you guys do for the community and how you bring on, I guess, different views and options and getting people out there. You guys, this is a great idea, a great podcast, and I'm excited to hear some of your past ones as well.
So if you come to the spring market, or when you come to the spring market, you should be sure to give me a call, and I will buy you a cocktail or a beer, whatever you're into.
Oh, thank you so much. Because we will be
Good.
there.
It'd be our pleasure.
Good deal.
Yes, absolutely.
Good.
So
That's a
I
fair
don't know
deal. That's a
I
good
can-
deal.
Okay, I love it, guys. Okay, I'm Martha Leach.
I'm Paul McLaughlin, and we're listening to London's Pretty Cool broadcast talking about 100 Kellogg Lane. You guys rock.